I know you have a couple of clips. Maybe just since we're talking about the vaccine, I thought it was pretty funny. Gates was on with Bill Gates, Dr. Bill, was on with Anderson Pooper and Sanjay Gupta. And I think the idea of the segment was to tell everybody not to listen to conspiracy theorists who are saying horrible and fake news things about Dr. Bill. But it kind of turned into, and it was very weird. And it starts off with Pooper with this intro. You know, it's obvious they want everyone to believe in the vaccine, and that's why Bill is there. But I just think it took a weird turn. Here's Anderson Pooper setting it up. It's three of them on the box: Dr. Bill, Anderson Cooper, and Sanjay Gupta. A picture of that showed up, calling them medical experts, which I had to tweet that. It was so hilarious. Because I don't think Anderson Pooper or Dr. Bill are actual medical experts. But let's have a listen to the intro.
The top 10 videos that spread lies about you had almost 5 million views. It's also pointed out that according to Signal Labs, which is a media analysis company that tracks this, misinformation about you is the most widespread of all coronavirus falsehoods. So there's a conspiracy theory.
Wait. I missed the premise. What?
The premise is about conspiracy theories.
No, but can you just start it over?
Yeah, sure. Right. So he's talking about how many videos of conspiracy-minded videos of Bill Gates are online. And so,
it's about Bill Gates.
It's about Bill. Yeah, it's about Bill, but that's what I'm saying.
Start it over for me, please.
You got it.
The top 10 videos that spread lies about you had almost 5 million views. It's also pointed out that according to Signal Labs, which is a media analysis company that tracks this, misinformation about you is the most widespread of all coronavirus falsehoods. So there's a conspiracy theory that one of our viewers asked about. I just want to play that sound.
What would you say to the fringe portions of the public, like conspiracy theorists, that seem to think that you're somehow responsible for the outbreak?
I love this is so good.
I love it.
Let's bring in some audience. It'll look really authentic.
There's also a conspiracy theory that you're pushing vaccines because you're going to inject people with a tracking device when they get the vaccine. It's all part of a so-called globalist plot to control the world. QAnon folks are, which is actually a group that's been targeting me as well lately. They're claiming falsely that I'm somehow connected with Jeffrey Epstein and global cabalists of sex traffickers. It's insane. What do you say to people who believe this stuff? Because, I'm sure you...
Why do you have to throw that in? What's that got to do with anything?
Well, that's what's interesting about these three clips is he keeps talking about himself, and in the end it comes back to himself. So he's very... And I did look at the manifest, I don't think Anderson Cooper is indeed on the Jeffrey Epstein flight manifest.
No, but he may be in the testimony in the documents that they're going to release.
I know, the unsealed testimony. Well, let's finish here.
What do you say to people who believe this stuff? Because, I'm sure you are inundated.
But that's interesting. The question he asks is, what do you say to people who believe this stuff? Right after he says that, he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. That's interesting that he leads with that for this question.
That I'm somehow connected with Jeffrey Epstein and global cabalists of sex traffickers. It's insane. What do you say to people who believe this stuff?
Now he's asking the guy who actually he's asking the guy who was on the jet, I think 6 or 7 times, maybe even more, even after he was convicted. So Pooper is bringing this up because somehow he feels some kinship with Bill, and I think he's hoping for Bill to debunk it or something because Anderson is being targeted. This is his problem.
Well, hold on a second. How about another idea?
Okay.
Which is that Anderson is warning Bill.
No, let's go through the clips and we'll see.
Okay, Epstein and global cabalists of sex traffickers. It's insane. What do you say to people who believe this stuff? Because, I'm sure you are inundated by people direct messaging me just insane stuff.
Okay, so that's his intro. More about him, really, than Bill. More about him than vaccines. But let's let Bill get to it. I did take out some pauses. I edited here and there. I took out a couple of the You can actually see his in a waveform. It looks like an X-Acto knife. It's very interesting. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, the combination of having social media, spreading things that are very titillating, to have this pandemic where people are uncertain and, there's they'd prefer to have a simple explanation. It's meant that these things are really, millions of messages a day. And people like myself and Dr. Fauci become the target. Often the clever thing they do, our foundation has given more money to buy vaccines to save lives than any group. So you just turn that around. You say, okay, we're making money and we're trying to kill people with vaccines or by inventing something.
What part did not make sense that he just said there? I mean, yeah,
all of it.
And at least it's true. We're associated with vaccines, but you actually, sort of flipped the connection that we have there. I hope it doesn't create vaccine hesitancy. I hope, this whole story of innovation that's going on, that we do get the benefit of that. It's really the only good news I'm bringing you today is that the diagnostic, therapeutic, and vaccine innovation, these amazing private sector companies, without the coordination you would have liked, but they are doing it.
Oh, you hear that? You see, because I think the company that is out of the gate first is not part of the Gavi alliance. So that's why he slips in it wasn't with the coordination we would have liked, because he didn't get to coordinate it because it was the Germans.
Without the coordination you would have liked, but they are doing it. And I do think people on the therapeutic side will be surprised. And, these are well-meaning people. This is a time where people are doing great work. And, so I hope the conspiracy stuff dies down. It's really, the numbers kind of blow my mind. And it's not just the fringe people that you would normally think of.
Oh, it's not just the fringe people. So I detect a little bit of fear.
What was that about?
Well, let's see. Because it's not just the fringe people. He thinks that there's other people who are, what he says, vaccine hesitancy. That's a nice word.
It's also going to surprise the therapeutic people.
I have no idea what he meant by that. But let's play the last clip and maybe we will learn more.
It's not at all. I mean, I can tell you, I get stuff from people who seem, they have lives, they have families. I don't know if they genuinely believe this or they've just been misled. But, and for me, it's, they claim I was on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane and going to his island with Tom Hanks or just insane, crazy stuff.
So is it insane if Tom Hanks went by himself? Without you? Is it then not insane? Or is it just insane because you were with Tom Hanks?
What do you...
Why is he... Well, you nailed this. He has got he's seriously worried sick.
He's fucked. And Bill Gates will refer to him at the end of this clip.
Tom Hanks or just insane, crazy stuff. Do you think... I know internet companies are looking at this. Do you wish that they would play a role in taking stuff down?
Please delete the stuff that says I'm evil.
Just as demonstrably false, because it does have real world, it does have real world impact on vaccines or a nut showing up to a pizza parlor in Washington D.C. with a gun.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, in some cases they are taking things down. It's a bad combination, a pandemic and social media and people.
Because you can't control the messaging, Bill. That's why it's a bad combination.
A pandemic and social media and people looking for very simple explanation. Who's the bad guy here? And a lot of that's been connected to politics, more in the U.S. than in other locations.
Bullshit.
Of course, vaccines weren't popular with everybody even before this all started. So I'm a big believer in getting the truth out, and but it's kind of not as titillating to say, Cooper is innocent. Why
does he bring it back to Cooper? Cooper is innocent. I think what Bill is saying is, bro, you're in the same boat as me. Listen.
It's kind of not as titillating to say, Cooper is innocent. That's not as exciting. You don't forward that to quite as many people as you do the accusation.
Yeah.
I think Bill was just saying, why did Anderson not say, why, your name was also on the flight log? It's not like he doesn't know this.
They're talking to Gupta and Gates about vaccines, and Anderson Cooper keeps coming back to his role in the Epstein affair. It's like this is really bad.
It's bad if you got something to hide, which I don't know, man. Cooper feels
nobody knows what she said. The thing that's coming out, we have some clips about this. In fact, I have a series of clips about this specific thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got the whole thing. I get a very good report from ABC that discusses what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and what is going to happen with the people that are the John Does that are going to be named.
Right.
And it's very interesting. And I think Cooper's freaked out because he thinks he's one of them. And there's 100 of them. There's 100 of them.
Yeah.
We'll play that after we're done with this. But